Okay, in the previous lesson we talked about how to use context clues to determine the meaning of an unfamiliar word. And we talked about using the words and sentences that surround the unfamiliar word to help us. In this lesson, we're going to talk about more specific ways to identify context clues. In fact, we're going to talk about 4 very particular ways. And one of the reasons we want to be able to do this is because when we are listening to someone speak or even reading, it is very difficult to stop every time we do not understand a word and look it up in a dictionary. It wastes our time and we often lose track of what it is we are trying to read or understand. This is why it is so important to be able to use context to identify the words that we don't know. So let's go on and take a look at these 4 very specific ways to use context clues. One way you can use context clues is by looking for synonyms. A synonym is a word that has almost the same meaning as another word. Let's look at the example. My opponent's argument is fallacious, misleading, plain wrong. So if we don't understand the meaning of the word fallacious, we have 2 other synonyms or words that mean almost the same thing in the sentence. That will help us to identify the meaning of the word fallacious. Misleading, plain wrong. Another technique is using antonyms. An antonym is a word that has the opposite meaning. Let's look at the example. Although some men are loquacious, others hardly talk at all. So if we don't know the meaning of the word loquacious, if we look and see if we can identify something that means the opposite of it, others hardly talk at all, which means they don't talk very much, then loquacious probably means, that's right, someone who talks a lot. Another strategy when using context clues is looking for an explanation. Here, the unknown word is explained right in the sentence, or perhaps in a sentence immediately preceding or coming before the unknown word. Let's look at the example. The patient is so somnolent that she requires medication to help her stay awake for more than a short time. If we are unsure of the meaning of the word somnolent, if we look further in the sentence, we see an explanation. She requires medication to help her stay awake for more than a short time. So what do you think somnolent means? Yeah, probably sleepy, sleeping all the time, not being able to stay awake. And the final strategy for using context clues is looking for examples. Let's take a look at this sentence. Celestial bodies, such as the sun, moon, and stars, are governed by predictable laws. If we were unsure of the meaning of celestial bodies, we would see that we have very specific examples of celestial bodies given right within the sentence, such as the sun, the moon, and the stars. So then we would understand better that we are talking about things that are in the sky, like planets, sun, stars, etc. These examples have helped us to identify celestial bodies. Okay, let's review. What are the 4 specific strategies to use when trying to determine the meaning of unfamiliar words using context clues? Synonyms. What's number 2? Antonyms. Number 3, using explanations. And number 4, examples. Good. Let's get some practice.